Hey guys, this spot is becoming my new favorite place. I don't know if you can see, they're basically the regular chairs that I'm sitting at, but it's really peaceful, middle of the woods. um, so let's discuss the trauma bond that we potentially have with this place. Now, I got a little bit into this with Jelani in my past interview, so if you didn't check that out, that was just released yesterday. Go check it out. Pretty interesting what he has to say. Uh, aligns with a lot of the views presented on this channel, and he's got some interesting experiences to share, so do check that out. But now, let me share a little bit first about my own trauma bond, okay? So that's kind of what led me to these realizations that, hey, this relationship was manipulated by these entities, that I gave so much credibility to. How is it possible that they were lying, that they were manipulating me, that they were fake, right? So then, rightfully so, you have to look at it from the other perspective, that hey, maybe they were pretending to be, you know, these ascended masters or whatever, and this egregore, this idea that we've created, based on these people that may have potentially ascended, is something that they use against us. They use in the form of manipulation, and it's not maybe false light that they're using to mask themselves, although it very well could be. They could actually be a higher form of light, a higher frequency, right? That's why they may even emit that towards us. It is just that they are not telling you their ulterior goals, right? They are still using you, they're still playing you, they're still manipulating you, okay? So then, we can really observe everything in the higher realms through observation of this realm, right? Everything is fractalized. This place is a hall of mirrors. So if we looked at this place from the trauma bond perspective, now I don't think we were necessarily traumatized upon coming in here. I think the aspect of the trauma bond that was used was the victim savior complex, which is what happened to me. I was really, engaged with being this high level, high frequency person, and I needed to basically carry the burden of that responsibility for everyone else. At least I was operating that semi-consciously, semi-subconsciously. So I approached this relationship with that mindset and ignoring maybe a lot of the red flags that popped up, for the sake of not necessarily saving her, although that was involved, but attaining my spiritual mission and saving this place, raising the frequency, and living up to my true purpose and potential, let's say. All right, that's another trick, the Matrix will try to bestow upon you, is this false purpose, this false potential that it has already created for you, right? You are not living up to your script. You need to fill the shoes, right? And I've talked about this in other videos, in my other video called The False Purpose of the Matrix. You'll have to find that on my channel. I don't feel like linking all that stuff. I just record a video that I posted. So essentially what happened with this realm is an entity likely wanted to create, such as Sophia, right? Created without, let's say, proper, what's it called? What's the word? Responsibility, proper allowance, right? And it decided to create by itself, by herself. As a result, it created a very aborted, like, demented being, in which it was very traumatized in and of itself, right? And this being, it needed energy, it needed divine sparks to fulfill its creation, right? So when we first entered this realm, the material realm had not been created yet, and we were used as an energy source to give life to everything else in this realm, like the astrals, the ethers, the seventh heavens, the heavens rather, the layers of the realm that exist within the matrix. And then eventually we were separated, we were fractured from our true selves, from our higher self, from source. Adam was even split into two, into Adam and Eve, at Eve being potentially the higher I am awareness self that lies beyond the matrix screen, still in the matrix, but it's beyond the matrix screen of projection, let's say. And we had become fractured, and we were existing in this etheric place, right? Sort of in between the astrals, but not fully in it, and in the ether. And the archons, as devious as they were, created women, right? This realm is said to be mainly women before the men entered. And why is that? Because the women, the the womb was created first, right? The bodies, at least, the women bodies were created first, and they were used as a point of attraction for the men, the divine sparks, the atom that was left in the ether, looking for its Eve, potentially, to then be attracted and fall into a trauma bond with the women of the earth, right? They say the Nephilim were the ones to come down and mate with the women of the earth, or the fallen angels. More than likely, we were those fallen angels. And we entered into the trauma bond with this place. First, with the idea of trying to save it, to energize it. And second, with the idea from a fractured, traumatized self, trying to become whole again, looking for our other half, right? And what happens in stages of a regular trauma bond? Well, first you're love bombed, you're made to feel wonderful, you're made to feel like it's the best relationship in the world, and you finally are fulfilled, you're finally, in a state of wholeness. And all of that is used to allure you, to attract you, to bring you in. But really, what the other person or the other beings are doing is they are trying to take your energy, right? So more than likely there can be lots of intense sex at the beginning of a relationship, lots of intense spending time together. And you may even be guilt-tripped for avoiding, for not wanting to spend that much time together, for trying to do your own thing, to be authentic, right? Anything that does not align with their view is ridiculed, gaslighted, criticized, and coerced into aligning back with them. So there's mental manipulation, emotional manipulation, spiritual manipulation, and that is exactly what happens in this realm, right? This realm has become like a casino, or it was created as a casino, designed to keep us pulling the lever of reincarnation, spinning the slots, right? Sometimes getting lucky, getting those 777s, sometimes winning, but the casino, as I hope you all may know, if you've ever gambled, even if you didn't, hopefully you know, is rigged. Just like this place is rigged, the casino is rigged. And that's why I say observe everything that goes around you, everything that happens. You are the one projecting everything in this hall of mirrors. And everything is layered in a fractalized manner. Just like a casino is rigged, this place is rigged. There will be winners, usually a lower percentage. Definitely a lower percentage than the losers, right? Because the casino is always profitable. And then again, someone hacks the machines or hacks the casinos, but of course they are dealt with in a very harsh physical manner, right? At least that's what happens here on Earth, in the material realm. But in the spiritual, to complete the analogy, many people are more than likely thrown into hell, right? Or in some way, if they don't fully know the truth. And we've seen this in NDEs, in which people are thrown into this darkness, or even into a hell-like version, but that light is always there. And that, Mark from Forever Conscious talks about this. He's definitely seen it, and I've seen it from his work. They use that against you. It's the same entities playing both sides. They are both the demons and the angels. And that light is always there to give you hope, saying, have you had enough? Have you had enough? Are you willing to confess? Just like a, a common torture practice, right? Have you had enough of the torture? Are you willing to tell us the truth? Are you willing to never do that again and keep funding our matrix with your energy? Are you willing to go back to sleep, right? And you know, I've always had the idea that the moon plays a big part in this reincarnation trap. You know, my awareness really has expanded past the solar system. You know, with the moon not being the full factor, the full reason behind the reincarnation trap, but I do believe it still plays a part because there are many connections to be made. If you saw my recent short that I posted, then that makes sense, right? So you know what attracted us down here, similar to that trauma bond, it was that fake love, right? We wanted to experience that love for our Eve with the women of the earth. Potentially that's what we were looking for. We were looking to feel holy, we were looking to feel love again, to feel our connection to source, to our higher self, to become whole. And that's exactly what happens in a trauma bond relationship. You're given this idea that you know, it is love. They pander to your ego. They make you feel wanted, desired, appreciated. But it's only because you're fulfilling their desires. The moment you stop, that love goes away and it turns nasty. It turns chaotic, right? All the karmic energy starts coming to the surface, right? All the flip side is shown. The true faces are shown. And that's why intent and discernment are extremely necessary, because you need to intend to see something's true form all the time, to intend for the truth, intend to hear nothing but the truth, right? You have to have had that on earth to really take that with you into the astrals, because you will only retain the memory of the past life you had on earth with you during that time, potentially. And if you didn't develop that discernment to say, I know that place on earth was pretty fishy, this place has got to be pretty fishy too, it's part of the same system, then you're just going to go along. You're just going to listen to all the authorities. You're never going to question. You're never going to intend to hear the truth. If it sounds good, then it must be good, right? But no. Remember, all of your weaknesses here will be used against you. Everything that you fall prey to here will be used against you in the astral, in the afterlife, to get you to reincarnate. And you know, I'm still researching regarding the whole process, so that in case anyone does get trapped into that process and they don't have their intent to get out, you know, they're not fully tapped into their energy, or something happens that we're not aware of, then people can still know the process, know what happens through their systemic process, and find ways out of that, loopholes to maneuver through, let's say, the karmic committee, through whatever they put you through. Although I do recommend nobody plays a part in their system. Nobody goes along with their script, because it's exactly what they want you to do, right? They have it all laid out, they have it all planned out to get you to eventually reincarnate. You know, and recently hearing from some people on Twitter, from studying other various people's experiences, they were telling me that, you know, a lot of people's lost relatives were potentially hooked into these entities, were uh, stolen by these entities, right? Their souls were taken, and taken hostage even, yet they were simply unaware that they could do anything about it. And you know, the people that were, let's say, more clairvoyant, more psychically able to tap into these souls, were then asking them to gain their intent back, to gain their sovereignty, by asking them, do you really want to do this? Is this something you really asked for? And they would remember, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this. And the moment they said that, it's like everything went away. They weren't trapped anymore. These astral entities, or wherever they were, could not hold them anymore. They couldn't feed on them anymore. And I believe the same thing is present within the system. Whereas through your intent, through your inability to express yourself, they can take you hostage. Your inability to voice your own concerns and say no is what gives them the power. Yet, there are many other manipulation tactics that they may use. But simply studying my own experience with this trauma bond, with this manipulation that happened, was able to open my eyes to the fact that, hey, where have I not been saying no? Where have I given my power away willingly, maybe even subconsciously? And these are the areas that I must look at and must focus upon, for these are what they can use against me. These unfulfilled desires, or desires that are overwhelming, or passions that I can't control, let's say, these are what will be used against me to show me and to be maybe even promised in the next life. Some people's scripts are very good because maybe they figured out a bunch of stuff in the afterlife and they were starting to question. And they said, no, 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 listen, didn't you want all this stuff? We'll give it to you. Here, just go back. Here, didn't you want to be a millionaire? Didn't you want to have 5 kids? Or didn't you want to meet the love of your life? Or didn't you want to be the most powerful man on earth or something, right? Then they try to get to lure you back in. But then they trick you because in the next life you forget. You don't take that memory with you, and then they throw you in some horrible life right afterwards, right? So it's a giant game, but it's their game. It's rigged. And some people may make the argument that, oh, we're just experiencing individuality. Well, yes, but it's a very fractured form. You can still experience individuality in your higher self form. When the creator made you, it still made you, or not the creator, but the true source. The creator is the creator of this universe. The true source made you in an individualized entity that was able to create kind of like a child. Two parents coming together and making a child, right? There may be certain restrictions, like to protect you, but even in that realm, what is protection? What are you really protecting yourself from? Although it is said that the true source warned us of the dangers of here. It gave us clear warning, and many of us returned, but some of us became too allured by this casino realm and became addicted, right? We became addicted to the trauma bond, because what happens in the trauma bond, it goes from high to low, and then it stays there and it stays there, and you try to get back up and you try to get back up, but it's all dependent on the other person. Oh, trust me, I know, because I suffered through that. It was the most difficult time of my life, constantly trying to appease this other person to try and gain their love. That's really what I was looking for. I was looking to gain their love the whole time. And here it's like we're looking to gain this narcissistic creator's love, to appease the creator, but it keeps demanding more and more sacrifices, more and more blood, more and more turmoil, more and more chaos that it wants us to experience. And then it rewards us with periods of small, kind gestures, small times, or short times of peace, right? Just like in the trauma bond. Oh, then all of a sudden, maybe you get a little kiss, maybe you get some sort of attention, but it's only how much they can give you, because they can't give that much, because you're the one supplying the energy. You're basically only giving a fracture or a fraction of what you're only getting a fraction of what you put in, because they took all that and they used it to make themselves feel better, because again, they were traumatized right from the beginning. And that's what this entity is, this narcissistic creator. It's been traumatized, and there's no saving it. It has to want to save itself, right? You can't save anyone. There's nothing you can do. People have to want to know the truth for themselves. They have to want to, rise above everything themselves, transcend everything themselves, and learn for themselves. All right, that's it. That's what I got to share. Right. So you can only get out of this trauma bond when you decide you've had enough. There's no saving this place. It was designed this way. Right? If you've had enough of trying to give and give and give constantly of your energy, and you finally develop the courage to leave and go back to the unknown, what we used to know but we need to remember again, then you will be rewarded with true love, with true truth, with true kindness, with a true life, right? Because we are dead here. We really are experiencing deadness. All right. To end on that note, give this video a like if you enjoyed the message, or if you enjoyed hopefully what I had to say. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.